Hey guys, welcome back to my channel EG Motion Designs, and in today's video we are going to create this Reddit logo animation inside of After Effects without using any third-party plugin but with the help of Adobe Illustrator and Adobe After Effects. And if you want to learn more about logo animation and other stuff, then don't forget to check out my logo animation masterclass course on Udemy. Link is available in the description. And if you're new to this channel, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So here we are first of all in Adobe Illustrator because we need to recreate that logo again to animate that. So what we are going to do, I have this Reddit logo file over here. I am going to simply import this in Illustrator over here. Now we have two logos over here as you guys can see, and I have already created one logo animation for this one, but in this video we will start to animate this logo over here. So first of all, by holding Alt, I'm going to create one duplicate of this image. Let's select both of them and let's try to adjust them properly. Now I'm going to select this one over here and I'm going to click on this option known as image trace. So simply click on it like this, then click on this expand, so it will create just something like this. Then I'm going to select this, right click and ungroup, then again select this, right click and let's choose release compound path. And now we will select all the extra stuff and we will delete it. I'm going to select this much portion and I'll delete this. I'm going to select this portion also, but in this portion also I am not going to delete each and every one. So I'll select this, I'll hit Ctrl X to cut it out, create new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Same procedure, I'll select this, hit Ctrl X, create new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, select this, hit Ctrl X, create new layer and press Ctrl Shift V. Okay, then I'm going to select this and this, then I'll press I on my keyboard to pick up the color and I'll pick up this color. Okay, like this, and let's hide all of them. And now I am going to delete this one, I'll delete this one, and over here I want this alphabets, but because we have created all this image trace and stuff, we will get some errors over here. So if you click on it, as you guys can see, this is separate portion, we don't need that, so I'll delete that. Again, this one is separate portion, to delete that. This one is separate portion, to delete that. This one is also separate portion, and delete that. And even if you see over here, this D is quite different as compared to this D, but in logo we don't have that. So what we can do, I'll simply select this and I'll hit delete and delete. I'll select this and by holding Alt I'm going to replace it with this one. Okay, like this. Okay, and even if you see over here, we will get two duplicates of it. If I select this and if I delete it, as you guys can see, we will get something at the back, but we don't need to care about that much because we will get a proper alphabet. Now what I want is that these alphabets should be on the separated layer, so I'll select this R, I'll hit Ctrl X, I'll create a new layer and I'll press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Then I'll select this E, I'll hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Then I'll select this D, hit Ctrl X, create new layer and press Ctrl Shift V. Then select this, hit Ctrl X, create new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. I'll select this dot over here, hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Select this, hit Ctrl X, create new layer, press Ctrl Shift V. Select this T, hit Ctrl X, create new layer and press Ctrl Shift V. Okay, so all of them are properly on the different layer. So let's lock this, and now we need to recreate this masterpiece over here. So first of all, let's lock this layer, which is this one, and I'm going to create a duplicate of it. I mean not duplicate, but I'm going to create a new layer and we will lock this layers also. And now we will try to recreate this stuff. So first of all, select your ellipse and over here I'm going to choose white color, and in stroke I'm going to choose black color. Okay, let's choose this black color, hit OK, like this. And stroke width also, let's make this 5 at least for now, and we will try to recreate that. So I'm going to create one ellipse like this. Okay, and select this and try to adjust properly like this, and if you want then you can increase the stroke width to 6 also, like this. Then select this one, double click, and let's call it as head and hit OK. Also over here, if you see as you guys can see, we have this ones, so we will name them also. So let's double click and let's call it as eye. Also double click, let's call it as eye. Select this and let's call it as mouth. Okay, so also lock them and hide them, and we will focus on this one again. Then we have this ears over here, and these are at the back side. So I'm going to select this, I'll create a new layer and I'll bring this downward, and I'm going to lock this head. Then select your ellipse again, and again I'm going to choose you can press D on your keyboard for default colors and stroke, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse like this over here, and stroke I'm going to choose let's say 6. Okay, let's select this, go over here and try to choose black color for the stroke. Again select this, by holding alt I'm going to create a duplicate of it, but both of them are on same layer, so we don't want that. So I'll select this and I'll hit Ctrl X, I'll create new layer and I'll press Ctrl Shift V, and let's call it as ear. Also select this and let's call it as ear, and let's lock this layers, create new layer and press create on new layer. And now we have to create this portion. To create this portion, what we will do, I'm first of all I'm gonna delete this stroke, we don't want that. And then I'll press P for pen tool, and then from here to here, let's say in middle of that, I'm going to create one shape like this. Okay, and by holding alt I'm going to click on it, then by holding shift I'll create one point over here and I'll close this point over here. Then I'm going to select this, I'll hit Ctrl C and I'll press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Right click, go to the transform and choose reflect and hit OK. And let's move this stuff over here, select those layers, and let's try to increase the size of it like this. Then we will choose our shape builder tool and we will merge them like this. Okay, then select this, hit A, select this point, and let's bring this downwards and also increase this stroke like this. Okay, then select this, go to the stroke width and choose 6 pixels like this, so we'll get this kind of stuff as you guys can see. So this is going to be my chest, so double click and let's call it as chest, and let's lock this layer. Then again I'm going to create another layer, we need to create this hand. For that I'll press L and I'm going to create one shape like this, and let's try to move this over here. Hit Ctrl C to copy, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V, and let's move this over here like this. Double click and let's call it as hand. Select this, double click and let's call it as hand. Okay, then we need to create this legs also. So for that what we can do, simply select your rectangle tool and we will create one rectangle like this. Okay, and let's reduce the stroke size to 5 pixels. Press A, select this and let's decrease this value like this. Also decrease this, sorry, simply click on this one and decrease this value like this. Okay, so we will get this. Hit Ctrl X, create new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, let's call it as foot, and let's bring this downwards. Let's lock this and layers, then select this foot, hit Ctrl C, create new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, and let's move this over here, and again double click and let's call it as foot. Okay, then we need to create this antenna type structure over here, so let's lock this, and this should be behind this head only. So I'll go to over here and I'll create a new layer, then press P, then from this end to this end to this end we will create one stroke, and let's delete this fill and select this, and let's change the stroke width to 6 pixels like this. Then we need this one portion over here. So if you see over here, we will get similar portion for this one. So let's enable this I structure over here. I'll select this. Let's unlock this. Let's select this, hit Control C, and let's lock this. Go over here and press Control V to paste it. And I'm going to simply bring this over here because this is a similar structure like this. So we will get something like this. And also hit Control X, create new layer, and press Control Shift V. I'm going to name it as ball, and I'm going to name it as handle. Okay, so this is ready. And now what we will do, we will unhide all of them, and we will lock this logo layer over here, and let's unlock all of this stuff. Okay, so this is my logo behind structure is ready. I'm going to simply select this, and I'll bring this over here. So as you guys can see, we have successfully created this logo. And now hit Ctrl A to select all of them, and I'm going to bring this over here in the middle. And one thing you need to understand, if you by chance let's suppose if I increase this, then as you guys can see, we will get different structure over here. So don't make any changes after you have adjusted the original size. Then I'm going to save this file, and now we will start to animate this logo in After Effects. Then I'll save this file, then I'll go to the After Effects. Let's close this stuff. Then I'm going to create a new composition, and we will call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, and duration is 20 seconds long, and background color is white color. And simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and hit on title selection. Then press Ctrl I on your keyboard, and I'm going to select this layer, or I mean Illustrator file. And you go to the footage, composition, written layers and sizes, and simply hit import like this, and double click to open this. Hit Ctrl A to select all of them, hit Ctrl C to copy them, go to main animation and hit Ctrl V. Okay, so these are alphabets, and this is our robot. So I'm going to select these alphabets. I'll press Ctrl Shift C, and I'll name it as alphabets, and hit OK. And we will hide this, and also we will lock this. And then we have this robot, so I'm going to select this robot. I'll press Ctrl Shift C, and I'll call it as robo, and hit OK like this. And now we will focus on this robo first. So let's go inside this, and now let's do one thing. We will select this robot comp over here, which is over here, and I'm going to duplicate of it. Okay, like by hitting Ctrl D. So we have two thing. Well, first is robot, and another one this one. So bring that robot 2 over here also, and we will hide this. Then we will focus on this robot. So let's go inside this. Okay, so now we are inside this robot 2. First of all, let's press Ctrl R to create this ruler, and we will bring one line from this ruler for our personal reference, and I'll bring this over here like this. Then I'm going to select all of them by hitting Ctrl A, press P for position. Let's go and let's bring this downwards like this, and create one keyframe. Then go to around 20 frames, and let's move this over here, let's say, and then go somewhere around over here, and let's bring this downwards. And their feet should touch this line, so I'll bring this downwards. Okay, so if you see this animation, I'll get this and then this. Then I'll go a few frame forward again, and we will create one keyframe, and in middle of that let's select this, and let's bring this a little bit upwards, so we will get that bounciness. Now after doing that, select all of them, and I'm going to hit F9 to easily those keyframes. Then I'll go to the graph editor. I'll select this graph. First of all, right click and make sure that you are in add speed graph. If it is it, then it's good. Then select this, and by holding shift, I'm going to move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. So you will get something like this. Okay, and let's go to the graph editor again. Over here also, I'm going to select this by holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here. select this, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here. Okay, let's see and let's make this fit, and let's see this animation. I'll get something like this, but there is one problem. If you see at this point, we will get a little bit of weird effect. So to get rid of it, simply select all of them, right click, go to the keyframe interpolation, current setting, choose linear and hit OK. And now if you see, we will get that rid to that effect. Then go to the start, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go to the last, and let's make this one complete rotation. So now if you see, we will get something like this. Then press R for rotation only, so we can see rotation keyframes only. Select all the rotation keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, and by holding shift move this handle over here and move this handle over here. So if you hit play, you will get this kind of rotation animation as well. Now hit U so we can see all the keyframe. Select all the keyframes, and by holding alt, I am going to reduce the duration up to 1.5 frames. So we will get something like this, and let's make this to 1.10 frames. Let's see. Yeah, this looks good. And now I want they should start to animate one by one. So what I'm gonna do, I'll hit page down button 2 times. Let's select all of them, hold alt, close bracket, and right click, go to the keyframe assistance, sequence layers, and hit OK like this. And if you see, this is starting from upwards, but we don't want like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select last frame first, then hold shift and then select first frame, right click, keyframe assistance and sequence layers, and then hit OK. So now we will get this kind of sequence, and then I'm going to increase the duration. So if you see this animation, you will get something like this. Okay, so let's move this over here like this. Okay, this is this. And if you see this in main animation, let's see, we have something like this. Okay, and now I'm going to select my rectangle tool, and I'm going to create one mask. Sorry, let's create mask from here up to his foot. Okay, let's move this thing over here, and now if you see this stuff, you will get something like this. Now let's select this, hit Ctrl D. Let's select this one, and first of all go to the effect and presets panel and search for fill effect and double click to apply and choose black color and hit OK. And now I'm going to select this layer. Let's hide this first one. You will get something like this, and now let's apply echo effect on it like this and change the number of echoes to 20. And echo time over here, I'm going to simply remove this first 3 over here and add 0 over there. Okay, so let's enable this. And now if you see this animation, along with this animation, you will get some background animation type stuff over here like this. Okay, so let's see this animation again. You will get something like this. Now after that, we need certain animations also, so somewhere around over here, and that's where I'm going to select this robot and this robot, and I'll hold alt, close bracket, then I'll select this robot too, and I'll move this over here, and I'm going to enable this robot. Okay, so we have this animation first and then this. Now let's select this robot and let's select all of them and enable this icon. And now we have to do some turn parenting over here. So let's select this head, and all of this eyes and mouth should be parent with this head. Then this ears, let's bring this after this head, and it should be parent with this head. Then this ball, which is this one, and this is the handle. I'll press Y on my keyboard to select pen behind tool, and I'll move this anchor point over here. This ball, which is this one, should be parent with this handle, and this handle should be parent with this head. Then this head should be parent with this chest, which is this one. Then this hand, simply move this anchor point over here, select this hand, move this anchor point over here, and select this hands and make it apparent with this chest like this. Then we have this 2 foots. Let's select this foot over here. Let's move this anchor point over here, then select this foot, move this anchor point over here, and select both of them, and let's make it apparent with this chest. Okay, so basically all parenting is done. Again, we will press Ctrl R to create one ruler, and we will bring this ruler over here. Okay, So first of all, I need eye blinking animation. So I'll select this eye and this eye. I'll press S and I'll unlink this. I'll create one keyframe at the scale. Sorry, go to the start and create one keyframe at the scale. Let's go to around 20 or let's say 10 frames. Create another keyframe, and in middle of that, I'm gonna make it 0. So if you see, we will get something like this. Select those keyframes and hit F9, and by holding Alt, I'm going to reduce this time limit. Then go to around 20 frames, select this keyframe, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So we will get this kind of blinking animation over here. Okay, then after this, I'll go to around 1 second. Then let's select this chest, press P for position, create one keyframe, go few frame forward, and let's bring this. Let's go to around 20 frame, let's say, and let's bring this downwards like this. Okay, then select those foots, press P, create one keyframe, go over here and change the foot. It should touch this ground like this. Then select this head, press P, create one keyframe, go over here. At this point, this head should be at the down. Go to the start. Then we will select this hand, press R, create one keyframe, go over here. At this point, I'll select this hand and let's rotate it like this, and it should be like this. Then select those ears, press P, create one keyframe, go over here and let's move them upward like this. Then select those mouth and eyes, press P, create one keyframe, go over here and let's bring them downwards. Also select these eyes and move them a little bit downwards. So if you see, we will get something like this. It should look like that it's coming down. And then after that, go few frame forward somewhere around over here. Let's say I'm going to select my chest, and then I'll bring this over here like this, or somewhere around like this. Then we need, after that we will animate other things also. So let's lock this chest. I'm going to select this foot. Let's bring this downwards first of all like this. Then select this and bring this downwards. Also go to the start, select this foot, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here. Let's select this and rotate it like this. Select this foot and rotate it like this. Also select this hand, and we will rotate it like this, and select this hand and we will rotate it like this. So we will get this kind of rotation. Then we will select our head, and go over here and let's make this over here. Then we will select those ears and we will bring them downward like this. Then select this mouth and bring this over here. Select those eyes and bring them at the top, so it will look like this. Okay, it's okay if it looks quite weird initially, because we will fix that later. Then after that, go somewhere around over here. We will copy those first keyframes, so hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and so we can get that animation again. Let's unlock this chest. Okay, then go few frame forwards again, and now we will copy the first keyframe. So hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, so now if you see this animation, we will get something like this. Okay, but this looks weird, so let's fix that. Let's select all of those keyframes and we will hit F9 to easily those keyframes. Okay, and now we will go to the graph editor, zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the graph, and first thing we want that it should come down a little bit slowly. So I'll select this, and by holding shift I'll move this handle over here. I'll select this and I'll move this handle over here, so it will come slow. And then I'll select this and select this handle. By holding shift, move this handle over here, select this, and by holding shift I'll move this handle over here, so we will get something like this. Then after that I'll select this. By holding shift I'll move this handle over here, select this, and by holding shift I'll move this handle over here. Then select this. By holding shift I'll move this handle over here, select this, and by holding shift move this handle over here, like this. So if you see this animation now, you will get something like this. Okay, so now press P for position only. Select all the position keyframes, right click, go to the keyframe interpolation, current settings to choose linear. Okay, so now if you see, we will get rid of that, a little bit jiggly effect at this point, like this. So now if hit U, and we will select all of these keyframes. And if you think that this is quite slow, so by holding Alt you can reduce the duration also, so your animation will get a little bit faster, like this. Then after that again I want that blinking animation, so I'll select this, I'll hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So if I go to the main animation and if I start to play, first I'll get this animation, then I'll get this animation. Then we will enable our alphabets over here, like this. And now from this point all of them should start animate, so I'll select this and I'll move this over here, this alphabet stuff. Let's go inside this robot, double click, select this, hit Ctrl C, go to the inside this alphabets and hit Ctrl V. So now I can understand from this point my alphabet should come over here, which is somewhere around over here, let's say. Let's select this ball, press P, and let's bring this a little bit upward, like this. Okay, there again let's match it. Okay, this is properly. So let's go inside this. Now I'm going to select all of them and I'll press P for position and simply right click and choose separate dimension. Okay, like this. And simply select all of them, create one keyframe at position and one keyframe at Y. Then go to around 1 second, again we will create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Go to the start, go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically, and let's move this over here like this. And in middle of that, let's move this Y position over here, like this. Then go to the start, press S, create one keyframe, hit U, go to the last, create one keyframe at X, go over here and let's make this value 10. Okay, like this. But this looks quite weird, so in search option I'll type Y only, so it will show us only Y position keyframes. Then select all the Y position keyframes and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift I'll move this handle over here, select this, by holding shift move this handle over here, select this, move this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here. So if you see, you will get something like this. But this is not just it. Let's go to the start, press R for rotation, create not this ball, select this, let's R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go to the last and let's make this one complete rotation. So if you see, we will get something like this. And now I want this animation should start one by one, so hit page down button 2 times and try to adjust the things like this one by one. Okay, and let's delete this ball, select all of them and enable their motion blur. Okay, let's go to the main animation, so we'll get something like this. So now if we start this animation, I'll get first this, then I'll get this. Now our basic animation is ready, so let's delete this. And now we have to play around with their positioning properly. So simply right click new and create one null object, select all of them, and let's make it apparent with this null one. Let's go somewhere around at this point over here. I'm going to select this null object, press P, and create one keyframe. Go somewhere around over here. Let's somewhere around over here create another keyframe, and let's go to the start, and let's bring this properly at the center. So we will get something like this, and you can select those keyframes and hit F9 like this. So now if I see this animation, I'll get first this animation at the center, then I'll get something like this. Now select all of them, press Ctrl Shift C, and we will call it as logo animation. Hit OK, hit Ctrl D, press S, unlink this, and let's make this -100. Press P, let's bring this downwards like this, and select those rectangle selection tool, and we will create one mask. Go to the mask properties, increase the mask feathers, press T for opacity, and let's make this opacity 40. So, okay, so we will get something like this, and press Ctrl Y to create one solid background. So yep, this is how you can create this kind of complex but cool looking logo animation inside of. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like this tutorial, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. And if you want to create some more interesting animations like this, then check out these two videos. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay tuned.